Hi, this is Andy Mattingly, and I'm here with this week's Save It Up moment. And this week, I want to talk about some harmless money mistakes that you really should avoid because they really seem harmless, but they really can lead to future problems. So the first one we want to talk about is assuming that you're going to have more money in the future. If you go into your life, your financial life, thinking that you're always going to make a lot more money every 2 or 3 years, it can lead to some bad decision-making processes. The biggest one being is that you may overextend on your debt that you have, and all of a sudden you're not making as much money as you thought you would be in the next 3 to 5 years, and then you can't handle all of those payments that you ran up on all the debt. So it's really important that you don't make that decision and you live with what you currently have and maybe a modest increase over the next 2 or 3 years when you look at things like debt, because you don't want to take on too much debt and not save for your retirement. Another seemingly harmless mistake is spending too much on your child's education. You need to make sure that you find the right university that matches the needs for your child, but also that you don't overspend on an education for something that's not going to return that much to the child, because you or the child shouldn't go into that much debt for your college education if you can help it in any way. So really look at how much money your child's going to earn the first 5 years after college, and make sure that your college expenses aren't greater than what that amount's going to be. The next thing to think about is, and it doesn't seem like it's a big deal, but overspending on gifts. Because we buy gifts all throughout the year, and I know I should only spend this amount on someone, but you decide that you're going to spend double. And you're like, well, it's this one time. But what happens is you do that 5 or 6 times, and before you know it, your budget's really wrecked, or you've added a lot to your credit card debt just on gifts. Spend within your means and make it a meaningful gift rather than a gift that costs a lot. Another mistake that a lot of people make is avoiding the use of advisors. Throughout our entire financial life, we're going to need advisors for some big decisions and maybe even some smaller decisions, but you need to have someone that's going to be there to help you make decisions about financial planning, about your retirement, about saving for college, maybe about how much insurance or disability coverage you need, in buying a home, and setting up a will. And if you don't get advice when you need it, later on, to correct some of your mistakes, it may cost you even more. And then kind of the last mistake that a lot of people don't really even realize they're doing, it's not teaching your kids to be financially literate. And that means starting at an early age, giving them some responsibility. Maybe it's allowing them to buy and be responsible for some of their own expenses because you've given them an allowance. But all along helping them understand how decisions are made as it relates to finances, like grocery shopping, or why you and when you buy certain things. Because if you're not careful, if your kids get out in the real world, they could have a really major financial setback, and it's probably going to burden you. And had you given them some advice all along while they were younger to help them become financially literate, you wouldn't be in that situation. Well, that was this week's topic. Hopefully you understand how these little things can mushroom in and be something much greater. If you want any more information on this topic or any other topic, make sure you visit the Save It Up page at formcu.com.